Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Satarine. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Taruveshya Kripa Sindhu Vyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamham Bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Shri Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Mishwaram. Hare Krishna. So we were discussing about Srimad Bhagavatam. We discussed about all the 6 questions asked by the sages of Naimisaranya. So today we will be discussing about how Srimad Bhagavatam is eternal and how in what all different situations Srimad Bhagavatam, you use the sound, Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam is actually eternal, and it manifests in different times through different devotees in different situations. So the first Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken by Lord Vishnu himself to Brahma, which is called the Chatusloki Bhagavat, or the 4 verses that is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam itself. As we go ahead in the second canto, we will read about it. So that's the first manifestation of Srimad Bhagavatam, at least in this day of Brahma. So after that, Srimad Bhagavatam has been manifesting in different forms. Lord Shiva keeps on speaking Srimad Bhagavatam in different ways to Parvati and different places. So all are Srimad Bhagavatam. Whenever there is a discussion about Krishna and his devotees and incarnation, so that is all called Srimad Bhagavatam. But the current Srimad Bhagavatam, what we are reading now, we will discuss how it manifested, at least in this day of Brahma, in this Kali Yuga. We need to understand one very important thing, that the Kali Yuga which we are living now is very fortunate. And the reason that we are very fortunate, because in this Kali Yuga, Swayam Bhagavan Krishna has appeared. Generally, the Vishnu generally takes the form of Krishna or takes the form of all other avatars. And Vishnu is just the material, is the expansion of Krishna to manage the material manifestation. So Kshiro Dakshai Vishnu, one who is sleeping in the bed of milk, in the ocean of milk, he actually expands into all other avatars. Like we know about the Dasa avatars. So it's the Kshirodaksha Vishnu who manifests as the Dasavataras. And we need to understand that only once in a day of Brahma, the Swayam Bhagavan Krishna from Golok Vrindavan comes down and manifests his pastimes. So, what Srimad Bhagavatam we are experiencing this Kali Yuga is a special manifestation, because here the special unique pastimes of Vrindavan is also mentioned. Right? Srimad Bhagavatam describes about the pastimes of Vishnu, pastimes of Krishna, but this Bhagavatam, what we are reading, because it is manifested in this Kali Yuga, it manifests the unique special pastimes of Vrindavan. And to give you a context of how it all happened is the context or the subject matter of today's class. So, Anand Vrindavan Champu is a book written by Kavi Karnapur. In Anand Vrindavan Champu, Kavi Karnapur speaks about a very special pastime. So, there is a very special parrot of Srimati Radharani. One day, Srimati Radharani was feeding the parrot pomegranate seeds. You know, pomegranates, anardana in Hindi we call it. So, while she was feeding the parrot, Srimati Radharani asked the parrot to chant Krishna, Krishna. So the parrot started chanting Krishna, Krishna in Radharani's voice. A very sweet, melodious voice. And Radharani was amazed that how this parrot is exactly able to repeat my voice. This is a very special parrot. And the parrot's voice was very sweet, very melodious. And it was an exact replica of Srimati Radharani's voice. And for some time, it was sitting on the hand of Srimati Radharani and taking some pomegranates. Then she flew. And she came to Nandagaon and sat on a tree branch where Krishna and Madhumangal were sitting. And again, with the same voice of Srimati Radharani, this parrot started speaking Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. I don't know. I have not heard the voice of Radharani till yet, so I cannot imitate. But anyway, so this parrot was chanting Krishna, Krishna in Radharani's voice. As soon as Krishna heard Radharani's voice, Krishna was extremely mesmerized from where this voice is coming, as if Radharani has come. So Krishna was looking here and there and he saw that there is a parrot. And Krishna said, come, come, come. And immediately the parrot came and sat on the hand of Krishna. And Krishna said, speak more, speak more, speak more. And this parrot was speaking again and again, Krishna, 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 like that. So when the parrot flew away, so here the Lalita and Vishakha, Radharani was very disturbed, and Lalita and Vishakha was employed to search for the parrot, and they came to Nandagaon and searching, and they found that the parrot is with Krishna. So they asked Krishna that give us our parrot. This is the parrot of our mistress, Srimati Radharani's parrot. Krishna said, I am not keeping this parrot. The parrot has come to my house and parrot is sitting on my hand. If you want, you ask the parrot to come. And Lalita asked the parrot, oh parrot, don't you know that you are the parrot of our Radhika? Why you have left her and you have come here? Please come. And the parrot didn't reply anything. So Krishna said, he doesn't want to go. What do I do? The parrot doesn't want to go. The parrot is not wanting. And why do you blame me that I have kept the parrot? Then Lalita said, oh Krishna, whoever comes to you will never be able to leave you. That is your speciality. And that's why the parrot is not leaving you. But oh parrot, don't you know that by staying with Srimati Radharani, you will attain much greater fortune than staying with Krishna. Then also the parrot didn't say anything. The parrot was not replying anything, and parrot was just sitting. And Krishna said, "Oh parrot, why don't you go?" The parrot was only telling Krishna, Krishna in Srimati Radharani's voice, sitting on Krishna's hand. Right? And then Lalita Devi became little angry, telling that, "Oh Krishna, why you are not handing over the parrot to me?" So, but Krishna said, "I am not doing anything. The parrot is not only coming to you. So I have doubt now. Whose parrot is this? Is it Srimad Radhika's parrot or my parrot? Because the parrot has got more attached to me and is not ready to leave me." Right? Then Lalita became more frustrated, and Lalita went to Yasoda and said, "Look, your son has got our mistress Radhika's parrot, and he is not giving back our parrot to us." So then Yasoda became very angry, and Yasoda came and started shouting on Krishna that, "Kana, you are always playing with animals and birds and all those things. You must you must try to improve yourself. And I have been waiting here. Your father is waiting for lunch, and you are doing all these things in here." So Yasoda caught the parrot and gave it to Lalita and said, "Krishna, you come for lunch." And that's why Lalita got the parrot again and gave back to Srimati Radharani. And Kavi Karnapur says these wonderful pastimes, and our acharyas, they say that when Krishna was leaving this world, the same parrot who was Srimati Radharani's special parrot, was a male parrot. Krishna and Radharani said, "Look, all these pastimes of Vrindavan, whatever has manifested, you were the witness of all these special pastimes. We want that you stay back and you speak about these pastimes in the most wonderful way." And this parrot was not at all ready, right? And Krishna and Srimati Radharani requested a lot, and that's how this parrot stayed back, and Krishna and Srimati Radharani, along with all the Vrindavan residents, they left this world. So then this parrot was there for some time, and this parrot understood that if he has to speak about the pastimes of Krishna, Kirtanam, then he has to first hear about the pastimes of Krishna from a very special soul. So this parrot started searching, who is that personality from whom I can hear about Krishna, and who else in this material world is much greater devotee of Krishna than where are you? Oh, then Lord Shiva. Okay, Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva. Okay. Why some devotees have not switched on their videos? So we will discuss about it. Then you will switch on. So then Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva has Kailas as his special abode. But then Lord Shiva has also a special abode in a place near Jagannath Puri called Bhuvaneshwar, which is currently officially the capital of Odisha. But this Bhuvaneshwar, in previous times, was a complete forest, very beautiful forest, and the beauty of the forest, the striking beauty of the forest was a mango tree. And that's why Bhuvaneshwar is called Ekamra Ban. Now also there is a Ekamra Kanan in Bhuvaneshwar, which is now a park. But previously the entire Bhuvaneshwar, or that entire patch of the land, near Nilachal was considered a Kamraban. When Krishna destroyed Kasi, how many of you know that Krishna destroyed Varanasi? Oh, all of you don't know. Krishna destroyed Varanasi because Kasiraj was tying up with Pondrak. Okay, so that pastime comes in the 10th canto, how Kasiraj was tying up with Pondrak, and Pondrak was claiming himself as false Krishna, false Vasudev. He had put some thermocol chakra, thermocol gada, and thermocol all those things, and telling that I am Krishna. And Krishna came and said, you have put some thermocol and telling that you are Krishna. And Krishna killed Pondrak, and Krishna killed his friend also Kasiraj, and Krishna destroyed Varanasi. Now because Krishna destroyed Varanasi, Krishna has to give something back because it's the city of Lord Shiva. So Krishna specially designed this place, Bhubaneswar, a Kamraban, for Lord Shiva and Parvati. So Lord Shiva and Parvati would often come from Kailas to this place, a Kamraban, which is in Bhubaneswar, and sit under the mango tree and discuss about pastimes of Krishna and have some special pastimes. So this parrot started coming and staying in this place of a Kamraban, in this mango tree, waiting for Lord Shiva to come and someday speak about Srimad Bhagavatam. So definitely, for sure, Lord Shiva and Parvati came on time to stay in the place for some time under this mango tree called a Kamraban. And Parvati Devi desired to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from the mouth of Lord Shiva. And when Parvati Devi desired like this, Lord Shiva just closed his eyes, and then he said, Ki Parvati, I will speak Srimad Bhagavatam, but how do I know that you are hearing attentively? Because I want to speak by closing my eyes. I would not be able to see you. So Parvati said, I will speak, yes, I'll make some sounds. By that you will understand that I am hearing, right? So Lord Shiva closed his eyes and started speaking Srimad Bhagavatam, different pastimes from Srimad Bhagavatam. But then, just like I am telling all of you to keep the video on, and if you don't keep video on, you will sleep off. So Parvati slept off in between Bhagavatam. So you can understand, Bhagavatam is really intoxicating. And Parvati slept off. And when Parvati slept, this parrot knew that if Parvati has slept, Lord Shiva will stop speaking Srimad Bhagavatam. So I have to do something so that Lord Shiva continues speaking Bhagavatam. So that's why I have asked some of you to keep on, switch on their videos. Even if others are sleeping off, some are at least they are hearing, I will be able to speak. Because Bhagavatam is very intoxicating. I am able to see some of your eyes are rolling now, about to sleep. Anyway, Parvati Devi slept off, and this parrot started telling, and Lord Shiva was speaking and speaking and speaking and speaking. And when the entire Srimad Bhagavatam got over, Lord Shiva opened and saw Parvati was in deep slumber. Got a very good nap. And Lord Shiva wake her up and said, Ki Parvati, you were sleeping. Who was hearing Bhagavatam and who was repeating and giving me signals that you are hearing? Parvati said, I never knew when I slept. So this is the power of Srimad Bhagavatam. If you don't keep videos on, you will not even know when you sleep. Right? So Parvati slept and said, I don't know when I slept. And then Lord Shiva said, who was telling yes, yes? And then looked and saw the parrot. And the Lord Shiva became very angry because the speciality of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is that actually it has to be heard by qualified people. And Lord Shiva was thinking, this parrot is unqualified and speaking yes, yes, yes. He has heard Srimad Bhagavatam from me. I must do something. So Lord Shiva started running behind the parrot to kill the parrot, being very angry. So the parrot started flying and flying and flying and came to this Badrika ashram where Vasudev was there. And Vasudev was also telling about Srimad Bhagavatam to his wife. Right? So this is how husband and wife should be. That husband should speak about Srimad Bhagavatam, or wife can speak. Nowadays wives are more serious in hearing classes. So they hear more classes than the husband. They have less time. So wives can speak Srimad Bhagavatam. But Vasudev, when he was speaking Srimad Bhagavatam, his wife Bhatika was also feeling little dizzy. So I think feeling sleepy in Srimad Bhagavatam is in the parampara. So now all of you are able to understand why I am strict in making you switch on your videos, making you night notes, because from the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, some sleep, Nidra Devi has some special connection with Srimad Bhagavatam. So she was also yawning. And when she was yawning, this parrot went straight inside her mouth and went inside. And then Lord Shiva came and was very angry. I want to kill the parrot. I want to kill your wife. And Vasudev fell at the feet of Lord Shiva. What happened? Now this parrot heard. This parrot is unqualified. And being unqualified, he heard the Srimad Bhagavatam from me. And that's why I want to kill him. And Vasudev said, what is the result of an unqualified person hearing Srimad Bhagavatam? So that's what Vasudev asked Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva said, if an unqualified person hears Srimad Bhagavatam, he will become immortal. That is the result of an unqualified person hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. If a qualified person hears, then he will immediately develop love for Krishna. So that means we are less than unqualified. Because we are keeping our videos switched off. So anyway, then Vasudev said to Lord Shiva that if he is unqualified, if he is unqualified and he has heard Srimad Bhagavatam and because of which he has become immortal, how can you kill him? Lord Shiva started thinking, yes, how can I kill him? So better leave him. I don't know where he has gone. Leave him. So then Lord Shiva left, being happy with Vasudev's remarks. And then when Lord Shiva left, Vasudev said to the parrot, "Oh parrot, come out from my wife's body." And the parrot was not repeating anything. He's not replying anything. And Vasudev didn't much got worried about the parrot. But very soon, Vasudev's wife got pregnant. And so the parrot found the right place to stay. And Vasudev's wife was not just pregnant for 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, it became 9 months. And then Vasudev understood by his yogic powers that this parrot only has got into the womb. And then Vasudev requested the parrot, at least 9 months have passed, you come out. And the parrot would say that, oh, there is so much of Maya outside, I don't want to come out. Then 2 years passed, 3 years passed, 4 years passed, 16 years passed, and this parrot was not coming out. And Vasudev was requesting every year, every day, that you come out, my wife is suffering for so many years. She is holding you, you please come out. But this parrot will not come out, that I will fall in Maya. And Vasudev said, I will protect you from Maya. So parrot said, I don't believe your words. I don't believe that you are competent enough to protect me. So then the Vasudev asked, whom do you believe? Then the parrot said, I believe Krishna. If Krishna comes and says that he will protect me from Maya, I will come out. So then Vasudev prays And Krishna appears and Krishna says, oh Sukha, please come out. Please come out. You see, I will help you and remain protected from material energy. Krishna, Maya is my Sakti and I'll protect you. Like that, Krishna said. And immediately, one illustrious son, 16-year-old son, who is completely naked, without any umbilical cord or nothing, he just appeared from the womb of Vatika, Vyasdev's wife, and then Krishna disappeared, and the son started walking and out of the house. And Vyasdev said, son, please, putra, please wait, at least show your face. So the 16-year-old boy who's looking very beautiful in the color of Krishna. His color was like as beautiful as the Syam Rang of Krishna, and completely naked. He was walking and not even looking back to Vyasdev, and Vyasdev was running behind and calling, and only the forest and started echoing, Putra, and Vyasdev saw that his son is least bothered about his wife or the home or anything else. As Sukadeva Goswami was going and Vyasdev was following, there were some ladies, there were some apsaras who were taking bath in a pond, and this Sukadeva Goswami was walking, and they were not covered properly. They were half naked and not covered properly. So Sukadeva Goswami was walking and Vyasdev was running behind him. So as soon as they saw Vyasdev, they started covering their bodies. And Vyasdev asked, Are, my son is 16-year-old boy and he is completely naked. And when he was going, you were bathing so peacefully without covering yourself. And I am in the age of your grandfather. I am so elderly, like your grandfather. Why you are feeling like this towards me? Then these ladies, these apsaras, they started telling that your son doesn't see anyone as body. And the very fact that you are addressing us as granddaughters, that means you are able to see us as bodies. And that's why we were covering ourselves. And that is who is Sukadeva Goswami, who is completely detached from this world, and he doesn't see anyone as bodies. And that is the qualification of speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam. So I really beg forgiveness that I am not at that platform. But we are trying to do under the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada and all our Guru Parampara. But real speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam is Sukadeva Goswami, who doesn't see anyone as bodies, whether man or woman or anything. They just see as spirit soul. And at that moment, Vyasdev understood that he is the right person to whom I can speak Srimad Bhagavatam and who can propagate Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? So Vyasdev always wanted to speak Srimad Bhagavatam to someone, and we will read ahead how Vyasdev wrote so many Vedas, so many Puranas, but he was not feeling happy, and Narad Muni came and instructed Vyasdev to speak Srimad Bhagavatam, to write Srimad Bhagavatam. But Vyasdev was thinking, I need to speak Srimad Bhagavatam to someone who can really repeat it in a wonderful way, and that would be very nice. But who is that right person? Then he found Sukadeva Goswami. He is the right person to hear and speak about Srimad Bhagavatam. But Sukadeva Goswami was least interested to even look at Vyasdev, his father. Forget about, sitting and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. or speaking about Srimad Bhagavatam. And then Vyasdev came back despondent to home, and Vyasdev was thinking how to get my son back. So Vyasdev called 2-3 hunters, and 2-3 hunters, Vyasdev started telling them some slokas from Srimad Bhagavatam. There are 2-3 very special slokas, especially 2 slokas from Srimad Bhagavatam, which he taught to 2 hunters. Hunters are lakadhara, wood cutters. Okay, you know wood cutters? Those who cut wood. So these hunters were taught this sloka. This is a very special sloka. All of you should at least remember this sloka. These 2 slokas from Srimad Bhagavatam. The first one is Baraha Pidam Natavaravapu Karnayor Karnikaram Bibhradbasa Kanaka Kapisham Vaijayanti Chamalam Randhran Venuradhara Sudhaya Purayan Gopa Brinde Brindaranya Swapadaramanam Pravishat Gita Kirti. So this is the first verse, very beautiful verse, right? It says about how Krishna is entering Sri Vrindavan forest. He is wearing a Vaijayanti mala and he is having a Karnikar flower on his ears, which he keeps on changing from one ear to another ear, from this ear to this ear, right? So this Krishna keeps on changing the location of the flower from here to here, and he's playing flute and entering Vrindavan forest. And the second one is Aho Bakiyam Stanakala Kutam. Oh, how merciful, Kamba Dayalum Saranam Brajema. How merciful is Krishna that he delivered Putana. Putana came to kill him by putting some poison, but Krishna made her as the mother in Vrindavan, as a nurse in Vrindavan. How merciful is Krishna. So these lakadharas, these woodcutters would cut the wood in the forest and recite this verse beautifully, in beautiful meter, sing these verses. So Vyasdev was thinking, if my son hears these verses, he will get attracted and definitely he will ask these woodcutters, from where did you learn these verses? And then maybe he will come back. You see, what a hope, right? My father didn't knew all these things. That's why I think I didn't go back to home. He employed other techniques. But Vyasdev knew how to bring back Sukadeva Goswami. So then these woodcutters would religiously sing these verses very nicely. And then one day when Sukadeva Goswami was in the forest meditating, he heard this verse. He was extremely mesmerized. Who is this person? Who is the subject? And who is this special person who has composed this verse? So he came and asked, from where did you learn this verse, which is glorifying Krishna like this? Who is the person who composed this verse? Who has taught you this? Because you are not that educated. So he said, oh, there is a special personality living in the village called Vyasa. And that Vyasa has taught. And then Sukadeva Goswami said, oh, it's my father Vyasa. And then immediately comes back to the village and appears in the hut of Vyasadeva and says, I want to learn what you taught to these woodcutters. And then Vyasadeva becomes very pleased and speaks the Srimad Bhagavatam. The moment Sukadeva Goswami started hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, and the moment Srimad Bhagavatam got over, immediately Sukadeva Goswami again got up and started leaving. So then Vyasadeva again started falling at the feet of Sukadeva Goswami that please, I need you. And in some places in scriptures it is said, and Srila Prabhupada also mentioned, that at that point Sukadeva Goswami expanded himself as a daughter, as a lady, as a daughter for Vyasdev, and he left. And that expansion, that reflection of Sukadeva Goswami called Sukha Kanya stayed back, right? So that because Vyasdev was feeling very lot of separation from Sukadeva Goswami, right? Or sometimes somewhere it is also said that the person was not a Kanya, the person was a person. Like he was a Sukadev only, another Sukadev who was married Sukadev, like who became a Grihastha because Vyasdev was really forcing. So then Sukadeva Goswami left for the forest. And when Krishna left, these are all happening after Krishna has left, as I said. So when okay, so this is Krishna leaves earth. And after Krishna has left earth, 30 years passed. So these pastimes which I just now said happened okay. These pastimes are happening in this span of 30 years. So here, after 30 years, a very wonderful incident happens. Parikshit, King Parikshit, we will see what King Parikshit did. King Parikshit is cursed by a Brahmana. King Parikshit is now the ruler. You know King Parikshit. Parikshit is the son of Abhimanyu and Uttara. Abhimanyu is son of Arjuna. Okay, Arjuna's son Abhimanyu, and Abhimanyu married Uttara, Virata king. You all know a little bit of Mahabharata, right? And Abhimanyu and Uttara's son Parikshit was appointed the king after Krishna left. Yudhishthir and Pandavas within 6-7 months also left. So then Parikshit was appointed the king, and Parikshit was ruling almost for maybe you can say Parikshit was almost for ruled maybe 15, 16, 30, 20, 30 years, whatever it is. So Parikshit was roaming around in the forest. When Parikshit was roaming around in the forest, he was feeling thirsty. He came to the ashram of Samik Rishi, and Samik Rishi is meditating. He wanted water. Samik Rishi didn't give water because he was meditating, and Parikshit felt bad that I am thirsty, I am the king, and I am not being received well. So just like this Rishi is behaving like a dead person. So Parikshit took a dead snake and put it as a garland to Samik Rishi. And then he left. Then Samik Rishi's son Shringi comes, who is a 10-year-old boy, who is also a powerful Brahmana. He sees the snake. He understands that Parikshit has done this. He curses Parikshit that he will die in 7 days by a snake bite. Then Parikshit comes to the bank of Ganga, near the place called Sukatar, which we visited near Rishikesh. And in that place, Parikshit prays to the Brahmanas, what is my duty? Tell me. So none of the Brahmanas, none of the Rishis assembled there, they speak because Sukadeva Goswami appears in that place. So Sukadeva Goswami speaks to Parikshit. So the first Srimad Bhagavatam that is available to us, that is the discussion between Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit. So the discussion between Sukadeva and Parikshit this discussion happened 30 years after Krishna leaves this planet. Okay? After that, so then you all know the story that Parikshit left this world and went back to Godhead, and Sukadeva Goswami, no one knows what happened to him, so he would have also left. Then okay, so we will do little bit of fast forward. So this is 260th year of Krishna leaving the earth. Okay. So after 260 years of Krishna leaving the earth, Narad Muni was one time roaming around on earth. He felt very bad seeing the situation of the world at that time. Because Kali has started already. Krishna has left, Kali has started, and 260 years of Kali has passed. Right? So Narad Muni is roaming around on earth, feeling very, very disturbed. And he said, what to do? So Narad Muni thought that I would go to Vrindavan and remember Krishna, and by that I will feel little good. So Narad Muni comes to Vrindavan, and it is explained in Padma Puran that Narad Muni finds a lady sitting in Vrindavan crying on the bank of Yamuna. And this lady is sitting like, sometimes my mother used to sit like this, like L-set. You understand? The legs are like lamba, like this, elongated, and L-set. I don't know how many of you understood. At least ladies should understand. Men, I don't know. Just like you do malis, you do massage of your small child. The lady put in the lap in L-set position, they'll sit, put them and like that my mother used to do. How many of you have done massage to your kid? You have done?
I'll see. I thought you will ask this question.
So Krishna is telling he has done massage. Okay, Parul Mataji has done. Good. That's good. I thought that modern ladies are not doing that. But some modern ladies have done. All glories to the modern ladies. But anyway, the lady was sitting like a L-shaped, with elongated legs and all, and very, very disturbed. The lady was so beautiful, epitome of all beauty, right? Very young, very beautiful, and two elderly person, two small children were sleeping on both the laps. Like they were keeping their heads like this, sleeping on both the laps of the lady. Now they were so small, very small child, but they were old. Their hairs were all white and their skin was withered around, and they were small, two babies like sons, but very, very old and withered around. So Narad Muni was little perplexed more seeing this scene. So Narad Muni went to the lady and asked, "Who are you? And why you look so dazzling, so effulgent? And your these children, they look so old." So this lady said, "I am Bhakti Devi. After Krishna left, I was very, very disturbed. And I was roaming around, and I saw my body becoming extremely withered. I became old. I was not able to speak. I was not able to roam. I was not able to walk. And then somehow I got some strength and understood that I have to come to Vrindavan. And when I came to Vrindavan, I got rejuvenated." This is the speciality of dhams, right? That's why we must visit dhams regularly. Sri Rupa Goswami has said that Dham Vas or going to Dham along with devotees is a very essential element of Krishna consciousness because it rejuvenates even Bhakti Devi's bhakti. So Bhakti Devi said to Narad Muni that when I came to Vrindavan, I immediately became again youth, beautiful. My body, my hairs which had become old again became black and I became beautiful. But these two are my sons. They are not becoming, even if I have come to Vrindavan. They are sleeping, not getting up, and they have become so old. Their hairs are white, and what to do? So Narad Muni asked, who are these two sons? Then Bhakti Devi says, these two sons are Jnana and Vairagya, my knowledge and detachment. These are my two sons. They are become so old. So Narad Muni said, no worry. Gyan, Vairagya immediately will start when I recite Bhagavad Gita. Krishna has given Bhagavad Gita. And if I recite all the 700 slokas loudly, then Gyan and Vairagya will immediately also become young like you. So then Narad Muni started reciting the Bhagavad Gita, 700 slokas, nothing happened. The Gyan and Vairagya who were sleeping, they got up, little bit yawned and again slept. And Narad Muni was feeling very bad. And just imagine, this is Narad Muni telling Bhagavad Gita slokas and reciting Bhagavad Gita slokas, and there is no effect. And then Narad Muni thought that I will recite Upanishads, I will recite the Vedas and all those things, but nothing happened. So then Narad Muni felt very, very bad. He felt offended. Then he said, I think I am not qualified or I don't know what to do in this situation. So he thought that I will do some penance or austerity so that I get revelation of how to help Gyan Vairagya revive again. So then Narad Muni leaves Vrindavan and comes to Badrika Ashram to do some penance. And when in Badrika Ashram, Narad Muni, while he is doing penances, the 4 Kumaras appear. Okay, so here, this is 260th year. Okay, 260th year after Krishna has left. So then the 4 Kumaras, they were very feeling very bad seeing Narad Muni because his face had become a little small and he looked a little disturbed. So the 4 Kumaras asked Narad Muni, oh Munibar, what happened? Why you are not looking good? Because they are like brothers. So Narad Muni said, ki, look, when I roam around, I saw Kali Yuga and I felt so bad. People have started locking the doors. This is what Padma Puran says. Padma Puran says that Narad Muni is disturbed that in earth people have started locking the doors. That means in previous times no one used to lock the doors. And then Narad Muni said, I heard people are telling lies. And I'm so disturbed. How can someone tell lies? How can someone lock the doors? And then what to do? What will happen to these people? People have started doing sins. People have started cheating. This is what Narad Muni said to 4 Kumaras. And 4 Kumaras says, don't worry. And then the 4 Kumaras started and then Narad Muni also said about this story of how he met the Bhakti Devi and how Bhakti Devi is also like this and how the Gyan and Vairagya has happened like this. So that the 4 Kumaras, they said to Narad Muni, don't worry, we will tell you the solution. Right? So then the 4 Kumaras, after 260 years, they tell for 7 days Srimad Bhagavatam. to Narada. So for 7 days, 4 Kumaras spoke Srimad Bhagavatam to Narad Muni, and after that, Bhakti Devi appeared in that scene, and she was beautiful, and the 2 sons of Bhakti Devi, Gyan and Vairagya, they were also looking very effulgent, like our Shreyan, very special, effulgent, and with hairs were black now, and smiling, and both the sons were dancing along with Bhakti Devi. Seeing 3 of them dance, Narad Muni started dancing, and 4 Kumaras were also dancing. Just imagine, all this scene is happening in Badrika. And then Krishna appeared and blessed Narad Muni and said he has appeared in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, and anyone gives very sincere oral reception to Srimad Bhagavatam will immediately get bhakti, jnana and vairagya within his life. So that's what Krishna says to Narad Muni and disappears, and all of them disappear. But then Narad Muni has a question now. So Narad Muni asks a question to the 4 Kumaras. Now I am sure Gyan, Vairagya, Bhakti, everything will come by reciting Srimad Bhagavatam in Kali Yuga. There is no worry about Kali. But I have a doubt, in Kali Yuga there will be so many sinful people. I have encountered people like Mrigari. So will they also get delivered by Srimad Bhagavatam? Is Srimad Bhagavatam enough? So this is the question that 4 Kumaras are asked by Narad Muni, is that will people like Mrigari also get delivered by recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam? This is the question that Narad Muni asked to 4 Kumaras. In Padma Purana it comes. So then the 4 Kumaras tell another story which is 30 years back in this frame. Okay, a little bit of, so slowly we are helping you to understand what is the scene. Okay. So here the story of Gokarna comes. Okay. So to tell you the story in brief, which 4 Kumaras tell to Narad Muni. So there is a Brahmana called Atmadev near in South India, near Tungabhadra river. Somewhere near Tungabhadra river, he used to stay in a village. He was a very wealthy Brahmana. His name was Atmadev, right? And he had his wife, whose name was Dundubhi. Dundubhi and Atmadev were very good husband and wife, but Dundubhi had a lot of fears in her heart and little insecure and also little mad. She had some unusual thought process. We will see how. So whatever it is, both Atmadev and Dundubhi were staying in that village. They were wealthy. There were a lot of wealth, but Atmadev had only one very miserable thing in his life. Apart from having so much of wealth, he had no son. So he tried so much, but no son, right? And Dundubhi was not interested for any son anyway. But Atmadev was interested. So Atmadev one time went to forest and met a sannyasi. The sannyasi was very effulgent. Atmadev was looking very morose. The sannyasi asked, "What is your problem in life?" So Atmadev said, "I have no son. Can you help me get a son?" So the sannyasi sat in meditation and understood that Atmadev doesn't have a son in his kundli, in his horoscope. And then he advised, "Look, Atmadev, you don't have a son. And if you get a son, then there will be a problem. So please don't aspire for a son. Please continue your devotion to Hari and go back to Godhead. This world is temporary." And he started giving lessons on detachment. And then Atmadev says, no, if you are a sannyasi, please help me get a son. That's why I have come. And then the sannyasi understood that this Atmadev is very, very attached. Then he said, you see Anga, you see Chitraketu, they all suffered. They didn't have son. Like that, you don't have a son in your carrier. He said, no, I want a son. So then the sannyasi took a fruit, invested and chanted some mantras and invested some energy in the fruit and gave it to Atmadev and give it to your wife. You will have a son. Atmadev was very happy. He paid dandavat to the sannyasi, came back to the village and gave that fruit to his wife. Wife asked, what is this fruit meant for? And then he said, if you take, my dear, this fruit, you will become pregnant and will soon have a son. Then Atmadev left for his work and Dundubi saw that fruit and started meditating. We have so much of wealth. If I take the fruit, I will become pregnant. My stomach will become big. I will be hardly able to walk. I will not be able to walk here and there. My movement will be locked. And imagine in the night, dacoits come. Then if dacoits come and then they loot our wealth, how will we be able to run away? So it is very dangerous. That's why I should not take this fruit and become pregnant. This is how she was unusual. And then she thought that imagine while the child is coming out, it gets stuck and the child is not able to come out and the child is inside, and what will happen? And the child will die. I will also die along with the child. I don't think I should become pregnant. So Dundubi concludes that pregnancy is not the cup of her herbal tea. So Dundubi takes the fruit, feeds her cow, right? And cow takes the fruit, right? And Dundubi tells, when Atmadev returns back, says that I have eaten the fruit. Now I think I'll get pregnant. I'm already feeling dizzy. So I'm going to my sister's house. So I'll go to my sister's house. I'll stay there. All pregnancy will happen there only. So Dundubi's sister was also pregnant. So Dundubi took some wealth from her house and went to sister's house and said, look, you already have 3-4 sons. You give one son to me. As soon as the son is born, I will take it. And this is the wealth I will give in return. Okay. And so Dundubi started staying in her sister's house for some days, for some months. And soon the child was born from Dundubi's sister's womb. And Dundubi took that son and came home to find that another son has born from the cow's body. The cow also became pregnant and cow also gave birth to a human son. The entire village was mesmerized, puzzled, ki how come the cow is giving birth to a human son? And Atmadev's happiness was knew no bounds. He was aspiring for one son. He got 2 sons. One from the cow, one from his wife. And the son that was born from the cow, his ears were like cows, big ears. So he named him Gokarna, right? That son who was blessed with the sannyasi's fruit, his name was Gokarna. Gokarna, Karna means ears. And the son that came from the sister's place, he was named Dhundukari. Dundubi's son, Dhundukari, right? So Gokarna, because he was blessed by the sannyasi, was very, very devotional minded. He was very, very special soul. He used to always read scriptures, help his father in his devotional activities. And Dhundukari was completely opposite. Completely opposite. Dhundukari would go and play with his friends, and then he will throw and push some friends into the well, and that would be his childhood play. And then Dhundukari would come back and beat Dundubi, his mother, And seeing the situation getting worse and worse, Gokarna and Atmadev had a discussion. Atmadev said, immediately, my dear father, you should leave for forest and take Banaprastha. And I am also going for Tirthi Yatra, and we should immediately leave this place because Dundukari started stealing, started wasting the wealth, drinking in alcohol and all those things. And when Atmadev and Gokarna they left, then Dundukari's atrocities increased. He would come and beat his mother like anything, Dundubi. And he brought 5 prostitutes to the home. And 5 prostitutes were living along with Dundubi and along with Dundukari. And these prostitutes would also beat Dundubi like anything. And then they would, Dundukari would steal and all the wealth got squandered like this. The prostitutes started squandering all the wealth and everything. And one day Dundubi bet Dundukari bet Dundubi so much that Dundubi got so frustrated that she committed suicide. So that means suicides were happening from the beginning of Kali Yuga. So it's a special benediction of Kali Yuga, suicides. Started from Dundubi committing suicide. She is the pioneer of suicide. She is the mother of suicide in Kali Yuga. So anyway, then after Dundubi left this world committing suicide, the 5 prostitutes started thinking, this fellow is serving us, but he is serving us by stealing, doing so many things. What if the citizens complain to the king? So if the king comes to know, then the king will catch us also, and the king will catch him also and put us in jail. So the prostitute decided that we would feed him poison, beat him, and take all the wealth and leave. So the prostitute made a plan, 5 of them. And one day when Dundubi returned home, so they fed nicely Dundukari very nicely, and there was poison in that. And then Dundukari also left this world. They took all the wealth and ran away. And then after some years, Gokarna returns back to the village and finds no one is there. Atmadev had already left. The lady committed suicide, and Dundukari was murdered. So then he came to the house, started staying in the house. In the night, someone was shaking his bed. There was a lot of sound, and Gokarna was not disturbed. It was the ghost of Dundukari. And the Dundukari had done so much of sinful activities that he was also not able to interact. He wanted to interact with his brother Gokarna. And then Gokarna took some Ganga Jal and sprinkled in on the home, and some drops of Ganga Jal fell on the body of this Dundukari's ghost. Dundukari was become ghost now. And immediately Dundukari was able to now speak at least. He spoke that, look, I have got in this ghost body because of the sinful activities. You are my dear pious brother. You are so devotional from childhood. Please deliver me. And Gokarna was very, very concerned about his brother. So he started reading lot of scriptures. And after reading all scriptures and different places, contacting different sadhus, he came to conclusion that only through Hari Katha there will be possibility of his brother getting delivered. So Gokarna, he speaks Srimad Bhagavatam for 7 days. So after 200 years of Parikshit hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from Sukadev Goswami, Gokarna hears Srimad Bhagavatam, and this is the first, Padma Puran says, this is the first public Bhagavat Saptaha. So he called for all the villagers to attend the Bhagavad class, and he started reciting Bhagavatam. And Gokarna made a bamboo, and in the bamboo, the ghost Dundukari was residing. And every day, one day when it will get over, the bamboo will burst. One knot of bamboo will burst. The bamboo had 7 knots, so one knot will burst. And after 7 days, a celestial chariot came, and in front of eyes of all the villagers, in front of eyes of Gokarna, Dundukari leaves the planet after hearing Srimad Bhagavatam for 7 days. That's the power of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Padma Puran says. And then the villagers, they start asking question to Gokarna, Hare, your brother was so sinful. He was a prostitute hunter. He killed so many people. He was drinking alcohol. He left in just 7 days hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Why we are all here? Huh? What is happening to us? Why we are not living and why all of you are not living? So then Gokarna was also a little perplexed. Why these people also not left? Why I am also not living? So then all the villagers, they heard a voice telling that you were not attentive in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Some of you had slept off by keeping your videos off. So you see, if you keep videos off and sleep, see what I am telling you is the practical knowledge assimilated from the scriptures. Keeping video on is a very important aspect, right? You may be hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, but if you keep your videos off and sleep off, because if you are keeping your video on and sleeping, then I am able to sleep. I can act like a voice. Don't sleep. Get up while hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. And then again, this Bhagavad Saptaha was conducted by Gokarna, and all these people were now very alert and attentive, because the voice said the person was locked in a bamboo, the ghost, and that's why he was very attentive, helplessly. But you were sitting cozily and sitting like this in AC, and that's why you are not attentive. You are sleeping off, and that's why you didn't go. And then again, Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken, and Gokarna, along with all the villages, they left the planet in this time. And the 4 Kumaras, they said to Narad Muni, this is the power of Srimad Bhagavatam. If we glorify Srimad Bhagavatam, recite Srimad Bhagavatam, then everything, even people like Dundukari will go back to God. And Narad Muni was so happy, so happy. He started jumping, and wherever he would go, he would recite and speak about Srimad Bhagavatam. So Padma Puran says that this Srimad Bhagavatam that Parikshit Maharaj heard from Sukadev Goswami was started from Bhadra month. It was spoken on Bhadra month, Sukla Paksha, and Navami Tithi. Okay, till Purnima, 7 days. And this, I forward the month that it says. It is also some month. In some month, Sukla Paksha Navami Tithi. I think, I don't remember the month that Padma Puran says. So this was spoken. So now, after 260 years, somewhere in this range, the date is not mentioned, the sages of Naimisharanya have assembled and doing yajna, and here what Srimad Bhagavatam is available to us, we are reading, is being spoken. The dates are not mentioned in Padma Puran, exact dates. And Vyasadev, writes this Srimad Bhagavatam, which this is done at this, the sages of Naimisharanya. This is Asad Sukla Paksha. Okay. So this happened in Asad Sukla Paksha. So this Gokarna's Bhagavatam. So Vyasdev speaks Srimad Bhagavatam. Vyasdev writes the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a discussion of Suta and Saunaka and sages of Naimisharanya. And what is so special? Why Vyasdev has wrote this discussion? Like, there are so many discussions, na? You see how many times Srimad Bhagavatam would have got spoken. Gokarna spoke, Sukadev Goswami spoke, and the four Kumaras, they spoke to Narad Muni. So many Srimad Bhagavatam have been spoken over these times. But Vyasdev chooses to write this because Suta Goswami directly heard from Sukadev and Suta Goswami, he speaks as it is. Whatever he had heard from Sukadev, exactly ditto, Suta Goswami repeats this to sages of Naimisharanya. And that's the speciality, because it is the as it is complete unabridged version of Sukadev's speaking Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, who is Suta Goswami? Suta Goswami is also a very special soul. Suta Goswami, you all know, when Krishna was there and the Kurukshetra war happened, Balramji didn't wanted to fight in Kurukshetra war, didn't wanted to participate in the war, because Balramji was teacher of Duryodhana and Krishna is teacher of Arjuna. So he thought that if Krishna is already joining the Pandavas, then if I join the Pandavas, then there will be a problem. If I join the Kauravas, then there will be a problem. So better take sannyas, take Tirtha Yatra. So Balramji goes for Tirtha Yatra, understanding the little difficult situation. And then Balramji tried his also level best to persuade Duryodhana, but he also failed. So he left for Tirtha Yatra. So in Tirtha Yatra, one time Balramji comes to Naimisharanya again. And in Naimisharanya, the sages are discussing about so many things. And in that Naimisharanya, in that place, there is Roma Harshana Sutta. There is a sage who is speaking about Upanishads, Vedas and all those things. So this Roma Harshana Sutta, so this happens somewhere here. Roma Harshana and Balaram. This is before or during Kurukshetra war, you can tell. So Roma Harshana Sutta in Naimisharanya was the main teacher, and Roma Harshana Sutta was the disciple of Vyasdev, direct disciple of Vyasdev. And he was giving lot of classes. He had his classes in Naimisharanya. I think Naimisharanya was like a classroom. All sages would come and there will be discussions and all those things were happening. So then Balramji came, all the sages got up, but Roma Harshana Sutta was sitting in sofa, Vyasasan, but he didn't got up. So Balramji was very disturbed. He was thinking that this teacher, he doesn't know etiquette, what he will teach to his students. I am the Adi Guru, he is not standing for me. I am the God, I am not standing for me. Teacher should tell people how to love God, how to respect God, what type of teacher he will be. So Balramji takes a kusa grass and touches the throat of Roma Harshana Sutta, and the head of Roma Harshana Sutta gets removed from the body. and becomes like a football and starts rolling. And that was the first Srimad Bhagavatam encounter, first and last. Right? So that was the end of Srimad Bhagavatam class. Just imagine I'm giving class of a tuck, and then the head goes away. So the Balramji and then all the sages stood up and said, hi, our teacher is dead and gone, what will happen? So Balramji says, oh, he is your teacher. If you want, I'll bring him back. The sages said, no, Lord, how can you have done right thing to him? But we are concerned, who will teach us now? So then Balramji blesses Roma Harshana Suta's son, that is Suta Goswami. So this Suta Goswami is son of Roma Harshana, and he is specifically blessed by Balram. And because he is specifically blessed by Balram, he had the power to completely remember whatever Sukadeva Goswami has spoken. And that's how he repeated everything to sages of Naimisharanya. So in this way, the Srimad Bhagavatam becomes available to us. This is like the entire setting the scene of Srimad Bhagavatam, which we are studying now, right? The book, that which is written in the written form by Vasudev, is the discussion between Suta and Saunaka sages, where Suta is narrating what he heard from his spiritual master Sukadeva Goswami. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Suta Goswami considers Sukadeva Goswami as his spiritual master. Okay? Hare Krishna. So I thought that I'll give an overview of the entire setting of how Srimad Bhagavatam is set. So we are, after long time, reading what is spoken after 260th year of Krishna passing. So that date is not mentioned. This discussion's date, Naimisharanya's discussion date, is not mentioned. Okay, Hare Krishna. Any question? Okay, Rajesh Prabhu. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, that was Pranam.
Yes.
In this timeline itself, basically the appearance of Sukadeva Goswami happens after 30 years of disappearance.
No. Somewhere it happens. That is not mentioned. 30 years, I have told what is after 30 years what has happened. The discussion between Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit. Sukadeva was there beforehand. This discussion happened after 30 years. Parikshit and Sukadeva discussion. Sukadeva didn't appear after 30 years. Okay?
But during the earlier basically a story how the basically Sukadeva Goswami appears. It was basically went into the womb of
16 years. So somewhere around after 16 years of Krishna's disappearance, somewhere after 16, 17 years of Krishna's disappearance, Sukadeva would have appeared. You are able to understand?
So it's happened after basically leaving Krishna.
Krishna left and Vasudev can invoke Krishna. So Krishna didn't come in his Prakata form. Krishna came as his Aprakata form. So,
however, the Suta Goswami appears before Krishna leaving the earth.
Yes, Suta Goswami is available when Balram's time. Bhagavatam mentions in the 10th canto that Balramji ke time pe Suta Goswami is there as a son of Roma Harshana.
And the last statement here that likewise Suta Goswami basically explained to the sages at Naimisharanya because he directly basically got this Bhagavatam from Sukadeva.
Yes. So when Sukadeva Goswami was speaking to Parikshit Maharaj, even Vasudev was also there. Suta Goswami was there. Everyone was there. So what is your question, but?
Question is that basically Sukadeva Goswami is basically younger to Suta Goswami as per timeline.
That is Sukadeva Goswami is youngest in the entire all the people who are there. Sukadeva Goswami is youngest, only a 16-year-old boy. But Bhagavatam says that though he's a 16-year-old boy, everyone got up. Even Narad Muni, Vyasdev, everyone was there when Sukadeva Goswami was speaking to Parikshit. All got up. We will hear later on who all were there when this discussion happened. So this discussion, everyone was present. All the important personalities of universe had come in this discussion. Everyone was almost present. So, is clear?
Yes.
Okay, next.
Clear.
Yes, Sukriti Devi Dasi. Yes.
Prabhuji, when we were studying there, the sages were telling that they were doing yajna for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
So how does that put into timeline?
So after 260 years, somewhere this timeline is somewhere 1,000. So it is not mentioned. One thing you need to understand: it is not mentioned that the sages completed 1,000 years. So they prepared and planned for 1,000-year yajna. Okay. But it is not mentioned that they completed 1,000 years. Somewhere in between, they got so frustrated because their faces were becoming black and they were getting frustrated with the smoke and nothing was happening. And somewhere in between, Suta Goswami would have appeared there and they would have inquired. So like that. But it's nowhere mentioned that they have completed 1,000 years. After that, Suta Goswami started speaking. But it is mentioned that they had planned for a 1,000-year yajna. And in the end of the first canto, in the 19th chapter, they clearly say that, Array, we started this yajna and our faces were becoming black. And that was the only result we were getting day after day. And now, Suta Goswami, we are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from you. Now we are feeling nice. So that is the statement they had made. That means they have not completed 1,000 years. Somewhere in between they got frustrated. Maybe 1, 2 year or maybe some months. That is not mentioned. The date is not mentioned. Okay? Is this clear? Yes. Santi Mataji.
Hi, Krishna Prabhuji.
Oh, okay. Please tell. Okay. Sangini Syama, bolo.
So the discussion between Suta Goswami and the sages of Naimisharanya, how did that get recorded in Srimad Bhagavatam?
Yeah.
The first canto when you did.
Oh, very nice question. I was expecting this question. I don't know why people ask this question. So now we'll have to. I think this timeline, the space has got over. How do I? Okay. So now somewhere in this entire timeline, so this is about Baladev Vidyabhushan. How many of you know Baladev Vidyabhushan? Very few people, I think. So Baladev Vidyabhushan is one of our acharya. So Baladev Vidyabhushan is acharya during the time of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Baladev Vidyabhushan was connected with Madhva Sampradaya, Tattvavadi Sampradaya, and he was in Jagannath Puri. He was born in Odisha, right? So he was in Jagannath Puri and he was connected to the Madhva Sampradaya, the Tattvavadis, and he was a worshipper of Narayan and very good in philosophy, And then in Jagannath Puri, he met one Gaudiya Vaishnava, follower of Lord Chaitanya. When Baladev Vidyabhushan heard the explanations of the followers of Lord Chaitanya and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Siksha of Achintya Veda, Ved, Tattva and all those things, he said, Arey, I was never knowing this, that the Krishna is the Supreme Lord. So he again, he started taking Siksha and he changed from Madhva Sampradaya to, actually Madhva Sampradaya and our Gaudiya Sampradaya is the same, but he became a follower of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he asked his guru, who taught him about Lord Chaitanya's things, that what I should do. He said, you go to Vrindavan, associate with Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who was living at that time. So somewhere later on, we will hear more about Baladev Vidyabhushan. But Baladev Vidyabhushan is a very powerful acharya in our line who is very great scholar. He has written, like after Jiva Goswami, Baladev Vidyabhushan is another acharya, and his main contribution to our sampradaya is he is the person who wrote the commentary to Vedanta Sutra. Gaudiya Sampradaya didn't had a commentary to Vedanta Sutra. He wrote the commentary to Vedanta Sutra called the Govinda Bhashya. We will maybe next class discuss on it little elaborately. What is Govinda Bhashya? But Baladev Vidyabhushan says that when Kali Yuga began and Krishna left, so somewhere here in this timeline, Vyasdev wrote down everything. So he wrote down also Vedas, he wrote down Mahabharata, everything he wrote down. So this is somewhere it has happened in this period before appearance of Sukadeva Goswami, or maybe before Krishna even living. So, or just after Krishna left, he wrote down everything. And at that time, he wrote down the 18 Puranas also. And at that time, he also wrote down the Bhagavat Puran. Bhagavat Puran is also a Puran. And Baladev Vidyabhushan says that when Vyasdev wrote all the Puranas, all the Vedas, he wrote the Bhagavat Puran also that time. But still he was not feeling good, because the Bhagavat Puran which Vyasdev initially wrote didn't had it was not completely pure. It was not Amal Puran. It was like any other Puran, like Padma Puran or Skanda Puran, like that. It has tinges of impurities in the sense that dharma, artha, kama, moksha, speaking about living in this world nicely. So Vyasdev had written Bhagavat Puran before that, but then he was not feeling happy. Then Narad Muni, somewhere here along here, Narad Muni meets Vyasdev and says that I think you should glorify Krishna exclusively, then only you will be satisfied. But Narad Muni doesn't say that you have to speak Bhagavatam. Narad Muni is concerned. So you have to glorify Krishna. So then Vyasdev plans for writing Srimad Bhagavatam. And Baladev Vidyabhushan says that Vyasdev wrote this Srimad Bhagavatam, the discussion of this discussion that is happening with Suta Goswami and Saunaka, seeing the future only. Matlab, the Srimad Bhagavatam which is available to us was written prior to the discussion that will happen in future. Now how it is possible? Don't ask me. Baladev Vidyabhushan ko you can ask. But Baladev Vidyabhushan says that Vyasdev was empowered incarnation of Krishna. He could see the future, and in future how Suta Goswami will meet sages of Naimisharanya and discuss that. Just like Valmiki wrote Ramayana prior. You know that? How many of you know that? Valmiki wrote Ramayana prior to Ramayana. So similarly, Vyasdev wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. This is second time Vyasdev wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. The second Srimad Bhagavatam is the discussion between Sukadeva Goswami, Parikshit, spoken by Suta and Saunaka, written down prior to when the discussion happened. Is this clear, Sangini Shama? Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Yeah, okay. Yes, Santi, Mataji, tell.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
I wanted to know the two shlokas you mentioned, which Vyasadeva taught the hunters.
I'll put in the group those two slokas. One is Baraha Pidam, which comes in the 10th canto, And second one is Aho Bakiyam Stanakalakutam Jighamsaya Apyayat Asatvi Lebhe Gatim Dhatrim Uchitam Antatonyam Kambadayalu Saranam Brajim. He has put, I think, 3 to 23. So one is, I think Udharan Krishna is putting it. Yes, Ansuman.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Prabhuji, that my question is that initially that Shuka, that he heard the Srimad Bhagavatam from Lord Shiva. And then after that question that when he came, then why he failed that to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam again? Are these two Bhagavatam are different or
yes,
they
yes,
are the
yes.
same?
Bhagavatams are different. So Vyasdev writes, we will read next week the first 3 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Vyasdev clearly writes, the Srimad Bhagavatam spoken by Sukadev Goswami is very, very special. Sukha Mukhat Amrita Drava Samyutam. Right? So Sukadev Goswami's version of Srimad Bhagavatam is special. Srimad Bhagavatam is definitely, see, the principles are same, but Srimad Bhagavatam spoken by Sukadev Goswami is different, definitely. It has no tinge of any impurity. It is Amala Puran. No tinge of any impurity means no dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Nothing of this world. We will read that next week. Okay? We'll answer this elaborately. Next week, elaborately we'll answer how special is this Srimad Bhagavatam we are reading. Okay? But can we say that also Bhagavatam? Yes, we can tell. Even the Chatusloki Bhagavatam spoken by Vishnu to Brahma is also Bhagavatam. Okay? Bhagavatam means glorifying Krishna, glorifying Bhagavan, anything which glorifies Bhagavan, Bhakta and Bhakti. Right? And this is first thing. Second, anything which has 10 topics mentioned. So what are the 10 topics we will discuss after some time. Okay, we will. What are the 10 topics mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam? What are the 10 topics that has to be mentioned for anything to be called as Puran or Mahapuran? So Bhagavatam is a Puran, which is a Mahapuran, because 10 topics are discussed. And also along with the 10 topics, Bhagavan, Bhakta and Bhakti is mentioned. But these two things are also mentioned in many other Purans like Padma Puran and all other Purans. And the third thing, Bhagavatam, this Bhagavatam which we are reading has speciality is it has Suddha Bhakti. Suddha Bhakti only, exclusively Suddha Bhakti. It doesn't have any mixed devotional service. It doesn't have like, okay, if you do devotional service, you will get some material benefits from Krishna. That is there in Padma Puran. If you read Padma Puran, you will see, you read about Ekadasi Mahatmya, you will read Ekadasi karne se aapko sona milega, you will get this, you will get a son. There is Kamada Ekadasi, Putrada Ekadasi. All these are mentioned in Padma Puran, but those things are not mentioned in Bhagavatam. It's completely pure. It's Suddha Bhakti only. So for something to be called as Bhagavatam, so the 10 topics have to be mentioned. Bhagavan, Bhakta and Bhakti has to be mentioned. And this Bhagavatam is special because it has only Suddha Bhakti spoken by Sukadeva Goswami. And the fourth speciality of this Sukadeva Goswami's version of Bhagavatam is it contains unique Leelas concerning Krishna of Vrindavan. Krishna's Braj Leela are presented in a very unique way in this Srimad Bhagavatam because Sukadeva Goswami had seen that. Other Srimad Bhagavatam may only present Leelas of Varaha, Narsimha and Bamana, but may not present Krishna's Braj Leela. Okay? Is this clear how it is different? They may not have Braj Leela. They may have Leelas like Baman Leela, Samudra Manthan Leela, but they may not have Braj Leela. So these are the 4 unique things of Srimad Bhagavatam. Is it clear? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Anyone else? Yes, Ajay Jaina.
Hare Krishna Bhai, Dhanavad Pranam.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, after being cursed by the Brahman boys and Parikshit Maharaj returned to the bank of Ganga and he requested Sukadeva Goswami to write the Bhagavatam.
Yes.
Now, then in that discussion, Vyasdev was there, Narad Muni was there, Sukadeva Goswami was there, Sudha Goswami was there, and since Vyasdev is the originator of this Bhagavatam, so why Parikshit Maharaj requested Sukadeva Goswami to speak about Bhagavatam, not Vyasdev?
Yeah, so that's what, that is the speciality of Sukadev that we will read as we go ahead. So that's what we heard about the parrot and Sukadev. Who is Sukadev? Sukadev is the personal parrot of Radharani. And in this Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna wanted to glorify Braj Leela, the supreme most, because this Kali Yuga, every Kali Yuga, Bhagavatam gets manifested. Don't think that only in this Kali Yuga, Bhagavatam gets manifested. But in this Kali Yuga, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to take us back to Vrindavan. So here in this Kali Yuga, only Vrindavan Pravesh, Dwar has opened. Okay. In other Kali Yugas, you don't go to Vrindavan. In other Kali Yugas, Gaur Narayan comes and takes you to Vaikuntha. But in this, the Swayam Bhagavan has become Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Swayam Krishna came and he has opened the doors to Vrindavan. So the doors to Vrindavan has to open, but before the doors open, the windows have to open to see what is in Vrindavan. And Srimad Bhagavatam of this, what we are reading from Sukadeva Goswami, is the windows to Vrindavan. It shows us what is Vrindavan Dham. Right? And only a Vrindavan Vasi who has stayed in Vrindavan can speak, na? How Vyasdev can speak? He never stayed in Vrindavan. Tell me. Huh? If I tell you speak about Vrindavan, you will maybe bluff. Right? So Vyasdev didn't want to bluff to Parikshit. So that's why Sukadeva Goswami is a very special soul who has been in Vrindavan, who is the personal parrot of Radharani, and he was specifically employed to speak. Why you open this? Specifically employed to speak Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay? Because Krishna wanted to reveal Vrindavan Dham in this Kali Yuga. So that's why we should understand how fortunate we are. If we lose this opportunity, then again 2000 Divya Yugas you have to wait to enter Vrindavan Dham. And all of you want to lose, you lose, but I am not going to lose. Okay, you can stay with your husband and wife and children and your home and all your small job and whatever. But I thought that every year, every lifetime, I would have got married. I would have done all these things. I would have done job. I would have earned money. I would have carried some children and wife and taken care. But this lifetime, let's focus and do something out of the box and do not out of the box, out of this universe only. So you are all very fortunate. We are all very fortunate. And more you realize your fortune, more you will get detached from this world. Right? And more you realize, every life I would have earned money. Sometimes people get so attached to money, to job, and they're not able to give time to reading Srimad Bhagavatam. I said, which life I didn't earn money? So every life we earned money, every life we had a husband, every life we had a wife, until unless you were a sannyasi and paramahamsa in previous lives. So we should understand this and really take the message very seriously. Okay? And not become dhila dhala and switch off the video and sleep. Okay, yes, next. Akarshita, Ananda, Bolo. You are not audible. Your microphone is not working. Yes.
Prabhuji, I have a question.
You are audible as if you are speaking some secret question very softly, as if you are speaking in the ear, like that you are being heard. No problem, you still ask.
Yes, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, the question is that Sukdev Goswami appeared when Krishna left, and Sutta Goswami was present even before Sukdev Goswami was not appeared. Sukdev Goswami appeared after Krishna left, and Sutta Goswami was present before Sukdev Goswami appeared.
Yes.
So how is it possible, Prabhuji, that Sukdev Goswami is the spiritual master of Sutta Goswami?
Just like I have so many of my students who are double of my age. And I have also my students who are lesser to my age. You may be younger, and a lot of people are elder to me. They're hearing, coming and hearing, putting the Dandavat. So like that, is there any rule that the disciple has to be younger in age?
No.
Yes. Anyone else? Yes, Lalit Prabhu.
This is regarding some confusion with the timeline. Today we have discussed 260 plus 290 years. 290 years of...
No, 290, 260. 30, 230. How you are making, you see the screen. This is 30.
30 years, 4th Maharaj and all that.
So that is 260. 290 kahan se ho gaya?
That last 30 years, I was thinking 4th Maharaj and Narad Muni, Badrika.
No, that is not. That is already mentioned. That is 260th year. That is not. Okay. Don't add more 30.
And 1,000 years remaining, I mean, for the sages and further left.
That 1,000 years is not mentioned. That 1,000 years passed. It may be just 1 or 2 years. The sages would have got realization that so that we don't know.
Then the balance 432 years less this period remaining.
Now 5,000 years have passed of Kali Yuga. So balance 4,27,000 years are remaining of Kali Yuga. You want to remain till that time?
That is not possible, Prabhuji. Okay. I don't want to remain back to God.
What is the question?
Then Prabhuji, that means out of 5,000 years past, this includes this 260 years.
In the first 300 years, these all things have happened. Around the 300 years. Okay, okay. Yes, Udharan Krishna Prabhu.
Prabhuji, I think Tarun Prabhu raised first.
Okay, Tarun Prabhu.
Prabhu, regarding timeline, at 260th years, Narada he did tapasya and then he heard Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yes.
But earlier, see, just after Krishna appeared, he already told Vyasadeva to write Krishna exclusively to get satisfaction.
Yes. So he didn't say about Srimad Bhagavatam. He said to present Suddha Bhakti. We have to be very clear what Narada has said to Vyasadeva. See, Narad Muni knows the glories of Suddha Bhakti. Narad Muni is not that he doesn't know the glory of Suddha Bhakti. So he knows the glory of Suddha Bhakti, and he told Vyasadeva that you have not specifically mentioned about Suddha Bhakti. So you write at least one literature glorifying Suddha Bhakti so that you will be satisfied. He was not concerned about the whole world getting satisfied. He was concerned that at least his disciple was getting satisfied. First thing. There's one insect here. Anyway, he's trying to distract me because he's so this Suddha Bhakti is important. Second thing, Narad Muni was very, very disturbed. The way Vyasadeva mentioned in Shiv Puran and Devi Puran about eating non-veg and all those things. So Narad Muni clearly chastises Vyasdev about it. That you have mentioned that in because later on it will create problem, and it does create problem. That's why Buddha has to come later on. It does create problem. So Narad Muni predicts that it will create problem. Already people are interested in sense gratification, and you have told them how to do sense gratification, that to gross sense gratification of killing some animals through Krishna consciousness, through Vedas. So I think you have made a mistake, but whatever it is, now you glorify at least one literature, glorify Suddha Bhakti. And then Vyasdev had been contemplating about it, that how to write the book on Suddha Bhakti. And while contemplation, Baldev Vidyabhushan tells that he sees the future and he writes the future. Okay? Is this clear? Okay. Yes. This is something little, what Baladev Vidyabhushan says, a little difficult to believe and digest. How can someone, but Lord and Vyasdev is not an ordinary person. Similarly, our Acharyas say, every Yuga, Vyasdev comes. Every Kali Yuga, Vyasdev comes. But in this Kali Yuga, Lord comes as Vyasdev. That is the speciality of this Kali Yuga. Because he has to write specific things, right? So that is also our Acharyas have mentioned. Yes, next, Udaharan Krishna. Just let me deliver this. Delivered. Now I am.
I don't know if it's relevant for this question, but when Sukadeva Goswami hears two verses,
You are stuck. Okay. ठीक है, मोनालिसा माता जी, निराकार प्रभु. Okay, निराकार प्रभु, you tell. He's stuck.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, my question is, you have mentioned 7 days. That is the duration of teaching Bhagavatam in many cases. Like four Kumaras, they told to Narada Muni, as well as Sukadeva Goswami told to Parikshit Maharaj. Prabhuji, what's the time duration different now in Kali Yuga and that time? Because I am wondering how in this shorter period of time they could understand Bhagavatam.
Oh, because they used to just recite, because people used to know Sanskrit and they used to just recite. It was not explanation, like we are taking one verse and explaining it elaborately. But during those times, just the recitation would happen. The first verse, second verse, third verse, the 18,000 verses, they used to get recited. And people were competent enough to understand Sanskrit, what is going on and what is being spoken. Right? Now, Sanskrit is not your language, and we have been not trained in grammar and all those things. That's why it may be difficult. We need explanation, but they used to not need explanation. Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhuji. One more question. Prabhuji, Lord Shiva followed the parrot because Lord Shiva thought he has preached Srimad Bhagavatam to a unqualified fellow. So now, for us in Kali Yuga, Srimad Bhagavatam, now there are so many people. So, what I feel how we are qualified to hear Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yes, we are qualified upon strength of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has said that we must read Bhagavatam. First thing, we are qualified upon the strength of Guru Parampara. And also we have also kept certain amount of qualification, following the 4 regulative principles, chanting some amount of rounds before you join the Bhagavatam class. So we also have kept some qualifications, because yes, definitely. But the real qualification we will read next class. What is the real qualification to read Srimad Bhagavatam? Paramo nirmat saranam satam. Right? So that if we hear, then most of people will leave Srimad Bhagavatam class. But anyway, we are doing it under instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is merciful, and our heart will get purified. Okay. Hare Krishna. Yes, Monalisa Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, you said that Vasudev got chastised by Narad Muni for promoting that non-veg eating and all in Devikuda. But Vasudev himself is the incarnation of Krishna, then how can Krishna make a mistake, Prabhuji?
Oh, yes. So Vasudev is an incarnation of Krishna. How can Krishna make a mistake? Yes. So Vasudev is making a mistake so that we don't make mistakes. Right? First thing. Second thing is that Vasudev is not Krishna, not Vishnu Tattva. He is Satyavesh avatar of Vishnu. So he is doing this as a pastime to help us understand what is the mistake. And when Lord does mistake, that mistake also creates further excitement, right? So Buddha came to nullify that mistake, and then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself came to nullify that mistake and establish the pure devotional service. So we may see at a mistake, but it is on a global level, on a broader level, it's not a mistake. But the mistakes are mentioned so as to we learn the glories of Suddha Bhakti, right? So it's so now, like for example, I'll give an example so that you will understand this. A person is eating non-veg, okay, and he leaves non-veg and still eating onion garlic. And he comes to me and says, Prabhu, I have been eating non-veg and I have left it, but onion garlic I am not able to leave. What I would say to him, onion garlic, don't worry, it is not sin. You continue eating onion garlic, don't worry, correct? Now another person who has left onion garlic also for 3-4 years and says, Ki Prabhu, I took onion garlic somehow or other, then I'll become angry. How can you take onion garlic? You committed that you will not take onion garlic. You have taken Kanthi Mala. You have got initiated. How can you take onion garlic? Now, onion garlic is the same. Taking onion garlic activity is same. But for two different people, the reaction is different. Correct? So when we are talking and reading Srimad Bhagavatam among all of us, we understand that the Shiva Puran and all the people, all the things that are mentioned there and all other Puranas and other Vedas, in comparison to Suddha Bhakti, they are not required. But there are some people who would not be directly coming to the platform of Srimad Bhagavatam. They may require. Okay? And for that, Vasudev wrote. And what mistake Vasudev has done is that Vasudev didn't mention Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam has to be there. Steps are there, but the highest thing is not there. People go to steps and think that step is only the goal. So that's what Narad Muni said. Okay, you created some steps for very sinful people to come up, but you should also tell them what is the goal. And that's what Srimad Bhagavatam was written. Okay, is this clear? So for different categories of people, different instructions are there. For us, Suddha Bhakti is special. Right? But for some very sinful people, for them we may tell chant Hare Krishna so that you can get some material benefit in your life. But that's not the goal. Chanting Hare Krishna is for taking us back to Godhead and engaging us in eternal service for Krishna. Even after getting initiated, a person attending Srimad Bhagavatam classes for so many years, if he starts chanting Hare Krishna for getting some material benefit, then there is problem. Correct? There is a problem. He is not understanding. So for them, we'll tell, Hare, why you are doing like this? Now for another new person, we may say, ठीक, chant Hare Krishna, everything will be alright. But for someone who is initiated, we don't say chant Hare Krishna, everything in material world will be alright. Material world will remain like that. Is this clear? So for different people, different instructions. Yes, Uddharan Krishna Prabhu. You were stuck.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, sorry, my internet was disconnected. Probably my question might be not relevant for this class, but I just want to share. Sukadev Goswami, he heard the two verses and then he came back to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam. And in Srimad Bhagavatam only he mentions that he was an impersonalist before and then he became a Bhakta. So how can we understand that he was an impersonalist?
Yeah, he was an impersonalist for a reason that how an impersonalist can even get attracted to Krishna. So he performed this leela of being an impersonalist, monist, right? So that to explain that how even great monists, their goal of life is to serve Krishna. And he clearly mentions that I was an impersonalist. Nirgunyapi parinisthito. There is a verse in second canto. You can search it in Google. Nirgunyapi parinisthito. I was parinistha. Nistha is determined. Parinistha means prakrushta, rupena determined. I was steadfast in my determination for nirgunya, that is nirgun, Brahma, right? But when I heard the leela of Krishna from my father Vasudev, I was so mesmerized, so touched, that I thought that I will leave all this nirgunya business and become a devotee. So this all pastime happens to help us understand how even people like Sukadeva Goswami, monist, get attracted to the leelas of the Lord. Atma Ramascha Munayo Nirgantha Apyurukrame Kuruvanti Ahetukim Bhaktim Itham Bhuto Guno Hari. So this is the special, very special verse in Srimad Bhagavatam explained by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was also a monist. That how even the Atma Ramas, who are completely free from this world, they get attracted to the activities of Hari. That means the activities of Hari are divya, divine. Like Sukadeva Goswami, he is narrating the pastime of Krishna stealing the garments of the gopis. Now one may think, this Sukadeva Goswami, he is a completely liberated person. Why he has to discuss about Krishna stealing the garments of young girls? And if you read the entire chapter, it is very graphic. I don't know how many of you have read it. Krishna says, get up, come out of the water, and they are at least in the water. Their body is not visible. Krishna says, no, I want to see your body. And you will think, what is happening here? What's happening here? So, and our acharyas say that because Sukadeva Goswami is relishing this leela, that means this leela doesn't have any tinge of material lust. Now it is very difficult for us to get convinced that how come Krishna as a boy is interacting with girls in this way and have no material lust into it. So, because Sukadeva Goswami, that's why Krishna made Sukadeva Goswami to speak this leela, so that we understand that these leelas are divine. These leelas are not ordinary. The same Sukadeva Goswami, who was not attracted to any lady form of this world, is glorifying Krishna getting attracted to gopis. That means the gopis had divine forms and Krishna also had divine forms. Okay? But then if we don't imagine Sukadeva Goswami was not appointed to speak these leelas, then what would have happened? Then people, if someone else would speak, then people would think, I think there is some problem. These leelas have some problem. Ras Leela has some problem. Krishna has some problem, I think. In the dead of the night. Even Parikshit thought that. You read the 10th canto, Parikshit asking, oh, I am feeling little doubtful. How come Krishna do this immoral activity of touching other men's wife and dancing with them, kissing them in the dead of the night in the forest? This is question asked by Parikshit to Sukadeva Goswami. And Sukadeva Goswami chastises Parikshit in the 10th canto and says, Parikshit, what you are thinking? Do you think that the gopis have the bodies like any ordinary ladies? The gopis were divya and Krishna's body was divya. And the time frame in which the Ras Leela was performed was that also divya. So in that way, Sukadeva Goswami clarifies. So Sukadeva Goswami was specifically appointed so that we don't have any tinge of doubt. ये कुछ और हो रहा है, right? Like so many people, they think they do also. Many of the people, they try to imitate Krishna's activity. They also perform their Ras Leela. And say, oh, I have become Krishna. I have my gopis. Right? Prabhupada used to say, okay, you lift Govardhan, then you are qualified to do Ras Leela. So Sukadeva Goswami is special soul. And you make Sukadeva Goswami come and glorify your Ras Leela. Then we will believe that your Ras Leela is not Rascal Leela. Prabhupada used to say. Right? If Sukadeva Goswami comes, person like Sukadeva Goswami, who don't even see boy and girl of this world, who doesn't even distinguish the difference between a body of a lady and body of a boy, if he comes and glorifies your Leela, then I will consider it as Ras Leela, otherwise it is Rascal Leela. Prabhupada used to say like that. Right? So specifically Sukadeva was appointed so as to prove that Krishna's Leelas are divine. Divyam, Janma Karma, Chame Divyam, Evam Yo Veti Tattvataha, Tukta Deham Punarjanma, Naiti Mameti Swarjana. So, yes, clear? Yeah, yes. Santi Mataji, last.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. After hearing today's class, I wanted to know how we can also be attentive like Dundukari when Gokarna recited this Bhagavatam. How we can
by
be
keeping your videos on. By keeping your videos on and by making notes and being very attentive. So by making notes, sometimes we may keep videos on and in videos only we will sleep. But if you make notes with notebook pen, then it is possible to be attentive. And plus, we need to also be very devotional in our approach towards Srimad Bhagavatam. We should be very devotional, understanding that just imagine how fortunate I am to read Srimad Bhagavatam, which is specially spoken by Sukadeva Goswami, which is not available in any of the Kali Yugas, in any of the day of Brahma. And somehow I am fortunate to be appearing in the right time to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from the right parampara, from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who presented Srimad Bhagavatam so nicely again, what Sukadeva presented. So when we have this devotional approach, and also we should be feeling helpless and humble that I am not qualified. Still, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada and our Guru Parampara has made me qualified. Nityanand Prabhu has made me qualified. My Gurudev has made me qualified. So, how fortunate, how seriously I should take. Right? Imagine you are a beggar in the street, and then you are adopted by a very rich man, multi-billionaire, and made immediately your fortune rises. How will you feel? You will feel like, oh my goodness, where I was and what I am doing now. So similarly, we should also have that feeling. Then we'll be able to access Srimad Bhagavatam. That, where I was reading everyday newspaper in the morning, Sunday morning with the tea, and the newspaper will open and read all whatever, His Holiness Mahavishnu Swami Maharaj used to say that Kalir Bhagavatam. Kalir Bhagavatam. So we were Kalir Chela. We were disciples of Kali and reading Kalir Bhagavatam, Kalir Samhita, the newspapers. Different newspapers used to read and gossip around, or with other ladies, other men also gossip. Okay, not ladies, both gossip. So gossip around and speak all nonsense. We were like that, and now we are relishing Srimad Bhagavatam, which is like swan, the activities of the swan. That's what this Srimad Bhagavatam later on says. That Narad Muni says to Vyasdev that the Srimad Bhagavatam you should speak, which is the activities of the swan. Right? So in South India, there is a beautiful song written by, I think, Tyagaraja or someone, Carnatic music, which says Pibare Rama Rasham. I don't know whether you know the song. How many of you have heard this song? Pibare Rama Rasam. Rashane, Pibare. Oh, Rasane. Rasane matlab, oh my tongue, Pibare, drink this Rama Rasam, this Krishna Katha. You drink it and sing it always. Suddha Parama Hamsa Ashrama Geetam Sukha Saunaka Kaushika Mukha Pitam Suddha Paramahamsa Ashrama Geetam. So what we are now discussing is Suddha Paramahamsa Ashrama Geetam. This is what is discussed in the ashrams, in the houses and in the ashrams, in the huts of Suddha Paramahamsas. Like what? He is giving examples. Sukha Saunaka Kaushika Mukha Pitam. Sukha, that is Sukadeva Goswami. Saunaka, that is the four Chatus Kumaras and the Saunaka, the Rishis. And Kaushika, that is Vishwamitra Muni and Vasishtha and all these great sages of Ram Leela. All these sages in their ashrams speak about this Srimad Bhagavatam. So we must have this understanding that what we are hearing is a very special thing, very fortunate thing. We were like crows being uplifted by mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityanand Prabhu to come in the categories of swans. By did some painting, Asian paint, right? like crow, you put some white paint, Berger paint, and then make it a swan, look like a swan. And so we are like that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu somehow painted us, Srila Prabhupada painted us and brought us and started attending Bhagavatam class. So that if we have that mood that I don't deserve to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, I don't qualify to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, then we will become like, we'll get the result like Dundukari. Because Dundukari understood that I am such a sinful person. But we may not have done, at least in this life, any sin like Dundukari. But definitely we have done a lot of sins. And we are so attached to this world. Yes. Yes. Oh, Bikram Prabhu, you have a question. And I am feeling to. Yes.
So, Prabhuji, my question is related to the current Bhagavatam which we are reading, which is the same Bhagavatam which has been delivered by Vasudev to the Parikshit Maharaj. We get a lot of versions, so I thought, let me clarify.
So, the Bhagavatam which we are reading is Vasudev has written the discussion between. So there are different discussions. Suta and Saunaka, they are doing a discussion. Okay. And where Suta is telling to Saunaka the discussion between Sukha and Parikshit. And this discussion is written by Vasudev. Is this clear now with this picture? Is this clear now? Suta and Saunaka, the sages of Naimisharanya, they are discussing, and while discussion, Suta Goswami is referring to the discussion by Sukadev Goswami to Parikshit. And ये जो discussion है, Suta or Saunaka, that is being written down by Vasudev. And later on you will also hear that Sukadev Goswami will refer to the discussion between Vidur and Maitreya. Okay, that discussion is also mentioned. So it's like a nested discussion. Discussion ke beech mein discussion ke beech mein discussion. Okay. But the main discussion is this, Suta and Saunaka. Which Vasudev writes. Okay? Is this clear? All the best. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran ki jai. Hare Krishna.